Today you will hear a folk tale like The Wolf and the Seven Little Kids. A folk tale is a story that is passed down orally from person to person. A folk tale is one type of fiction. Stories that are made up or created from someone's imagination are known as fiction. Thumbs up or thumbs down. Folk tales are fiction. Folk tales are true stories. Folk tales are passed down from person to person. In the folk tale today, there is a donkey, a cat, a dog, and a rooster. Make a dog sound. Make a sound that a cat makes. What does a donkey say? What does a rooster say? How are these sounds different from the way that people talk? Listen carefully to find out the differences in the ways animals and people communicate, and how it causes some confusion in the story. Once upon a time there was a donkey who for many years had worked for a farmer. The donkey had worked on the same farm day in and day out and longed to leave the farm and see the world. The farmer was not happy that the donkey wanted to leave, but when he saw how sad the donkey was, he told him that he must go. The donkey left and took the road to a town called Breman, where he had heard a street band play sweet music. He thought he could be a fine musician too. Soon he came upon a dog panting for breath, as if the dog had been running a long way. "What are you panting for, my friend?" asked the donkey. "Ah," answered the dog, "now that I am old, I have decided to leave home and see the world. There is so much in the world to see that I have been running in order to get it all in." "Well," said the donkey, "come with me. I am going to be a street musician in Bremen. I can play the flute and you can play the drum." The dog was quite willing, and so they both walked on. Soon the dog and the donkey saw a cat sitting in the road with a face as long as 3 days of rainy weather. "Now, what's the matter with you, old kitty?" asked the donkey. "You would be sad," said the cat, "if you were in my place. For now I am getting old, and I haven't seen any of the world beyond the barn I live in. Alas, I want to go and see the world, but I do not know where to begin." "Then come with us to Bremen," said the donkey. "I know that you sing well at night, so you can easily be a street musician in the town. Bremen will be a great place to start your adventures." "That is just what I'd like to do," said the cat, and so she joined the donkey and the dog, and they walked on together. By and by, the three musicians came to a farmyard. On the gate stood a rooster crying "Cock-a-doodle-doo" with all his might. "What are you making so much noise for?" asked the donkey. "Ah," said the rooster, "I am trying to get the other animals' attention. I am leaving to see the world, and this is how roosters say goodbye." "Come with us, old Redcomb," said the donkey. "We are going to Bremen to be street musicians. You have a fine voice, and the rest of us are all musical too." "I will join you," said the rooster, and they all four went off together. They could not reach the town in one day, and as evening came on, they began to look for a place to spend the night. The donkey and the dog lay down under a large tree. The cat climbed up on one of the branches. The rooster flew to the top of the tree where he could look all around. "I see a light from a window," the rooster called to his friends. "That means there is a house nearby," said the donkey. "Let us ask the people for supper." "How good a bone would taste," said the dog. "Or a nice piece of fish," said the cat. "Or some corn," said the rooster. So they set out at once and soon reached the house. The donkey, who was the tallest, looked in the window. "What do you see, old long ears?" asked the rooster. The donkey answered. The donkey answered, I see a table spread with plenty to eat and drink, and a family is sitting before it having their supper. Come down, said the dog, and we shall think of a way to impress this family so that they will share their supper with us. The four friends talked over what they should do to show the family that they were not just ordinary barnyard animals. At last, they had an idea. The donkey stood on his hind legs and placed his front feet on the windowsill. The dog stood on the donkey's back. The cat climbed up and stood on the dog's back, and the rooster perched on the cat's head. Then the donkey gave a signal, and they all began to make their loudest music. The donkey brayed, hee-haw. The dog barked, woof, woof. The cat meowed, meow, and the rooster crowed, cock-a-doodle-doo. The animals thought for sure that this sweet music would charm the family. The family had never before heard such noise, and they were frightened and had no idea what could be making such a terrible sound. They ran as fast as they could through the woods to the neighbor's house. Our four friends were dismayed that their beautiful song had frightened the family so. Still, they were very hungry from their journey and decided to eat what had remained of the family's supper. When the four musicians had eaten as much as they could, they were full and ready to sleep. The donkey lay down in the yard, the dog lay down beside the door, the cat curled up in front of the fireplace, and the rooster flew up to a high shelf. They were all so tired they soon fell flat-ass asleep. Later that night, the uncle decided to go back to check on the house. He found everything quiet and still, so he went inside. He did not see the cat, and he stepped on her tail. The poor kitty was caught by surprise and jumped up, landing on the uncle's face by accident. It gave the uncle such a fright that he ran for the door, which in turn scared the dog, who grabbed the uncle's leg as he went by. In the dark yard, the uncle could not see the donkey and ran into him by accident. This scared the donkey, who gave him a great kick with his hind foot. And this woke the rooster, who cried with all his might, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. The uncle ran as fast as his legs could carry him back to the neighbor's house, where his family was waiting for him. Gasping for breath, he said, I have no idea what is going on in that house, but I am never going back. First, something tried to cover my eyes. Then, something tried to stop me from leaving by grabbing my leg. Then, out in the yard, something pushed me from behind. All the while, I heard an awful noise asking, Who are you? Who are you? The family was filled with fear and ran away as fast as they could. Meanwhile, the animals had finally settled down after being woken up from their slumber. They decided that it was just a bad dream and went back to sleep in the cozy little house. They liked the little house so much that they stayed there, waiting for the family to come back. And as far as I know, they are still there to this day. Who wants to move to Breman to become a musician? What other animals join the donkey? What are the animals planning to do? Who do the animals see in the house? Why do the animals stand on one another and make noise? Why is the family scared? Why does the noise scare the family? Why does the uncle get scared when he returns to the house and sees that everything is okay? Remember that this story, The Breman Town Musicians, is a special kind of fiction story. Which part of the story tells you that the Breman Town Musicians is fiction or made-up story? What kind of fiction is this story? Play is a word that has several meanings. One meaning is to make music using an instrument. Another is to participate in sports. What children do for fun is also play. Another meaning of the word play is a drama, usually performed on a stage. Musician, someone who plays a musical instrument or sings. Example, Selma is a musician. She plays the clarinet. In the read aloud you heard, the donkey left and took the road to a town called Breman, where he had heard a street band play sweet music. He thought he could be a fine musician too. Say the word musician. A musician is someone who plays a musical instrument or sings. The musician played a beautiful song at the wedding. Have you ever seen or heard a musician? Describe the experience. Try to use the word musician when you tell about it. What's the word we've been talking about?